How's it going? I'm sorry, I'm taking care of a Walmart order. I ordered groceries. So every 5 minutes, the shopper is texting me to tell me that they don't have something that I want. I gotta be quick about accepting their substitutions, otherwise, they won't substitute it. Am I going about this wrong? I am. I'm supposed to put on my foundation first. I have a newer bottle of this and I can't find it. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? It's Action Jacqueline, your big bald-headed sister. Thank you for joining me today. Oh, Junie. Didn't I tell y'all last time that the second I sit down to stream, my cat starts bothering me? She didn't even wait 30 seconds this time. Oh, Junie. How are you guys doing today? Let me check here what's going on. TikTok Live. So I'm on TikTok and YouTube. You're allowed to multi-stream to 2 platforms once a week. Thank you. Thank you, TikTok, for allowing me this today. So I got to make this good. Give me a second, Junie. I'll let you out. Oh, if anybody's wondering what color I'm using, this is the Caramel Infallible by L'Oreal. And it works really well. I really like the coverage it gives. Very inexpensive, too. I think it costs no more than like $14. I really like it because it covers that little spot. Oh, I can't even find the spot now. That's how well it covered it. Okay, that's done. Now I can move on to my eyebrows. I like to get my eyebrows done right away because that's my most contentious area, to be honest. Without my eyebrows, I am well aware that I look ghastly. So we gonna hurry up and put those eyebrows on. But first, let me let the cat out before she drives herself crazy. Okay. What's up, family? It's Action Jacqueline, your big bull-headed sister. Thank you so much for joining me today. Did you guys read the title, by the way, of this live? In this live, I want to talk about how you really can't accept advice from anybody. Once you cross over to the world of alopecia, there's really no one who can give you advice. You have to be very, very in touch with yourself so that you don't get lost in the whirlwind of advice that you will receive that oftentimes doesn't come from good place because, y'all, everyone is biased. Everyone is biased. I mean, when I say everyone, I mean your mama. Your mama is biased. Well, at least my mama is, okay? When I was growing up and I had first lost my hair, I can recall my mom saying to me, "Why do you talk about it all the time?" Referring to my hair, because I would start talking about my alopecia. Oh, why do you always talk about that? You don't always have to talk about that. Like she didn't realize that I did have to talk about it. You know what I mean? It was therapy to talk about it. And she didn't know that. So that's what I mean by everyone is biased. Just because she didn't want to hear it, she advised me not to talk about it. So I kind of learned early that everybody don't want to hear your problem. You know what I'm saying? Not even your mom, apparently. I'm sorry, I'm dropping things. So I read an article today. Sorry, y'all. Before I do the article, though, I definitely have to put on these eyebrows because I will not go back and rewatch one of my videos and think to myself, good God, why didn't I put on my eyebrows before I started reading that article? I totally hate that, and I've done that so many times. So I'm not going to do that to myself today. You guys, if you're on TikTok, please go ahead and tap that screen. I need those hearts that really help with the algorithm. So go ahead and tap that screen for me. Let me know that you're there. Let me know that you're vibing with me. And even better than that, feel free to leave a comment because I am here waiting for your cues and your aids. I'm sorry. I'm trying to rush them through my browse so I can move on with this live. Yeah, so I read this article today and it reminded me about why you should not take advice from people, and how hurtful actually some people's advice is to someone who is trying to make the best of their alopecia journey. Because I think all of us who suffer hair loss know deep down inside that we got to get right with this thing. Even though a lot of us want to try to regrow our hair, and that might be a lot of our main focuses for a very, very long period. Deep down, I think we all know that even if we can regrow our hair today, this problem is not ever going to completely leave. Do you know what I mean? So it is very important to make peace with it and to make peace with it the best way you can. You follow what I'm saying, guys? And when you're doing that, you really cannot listen to people, especially people who don't know anything about hair loss. I can't tell you the amount of times I've heard people tell me, just stop stressing, as though I stressed my hair bald. I've known children who've been told to stop stressing. Children, I mean, 9-year-old starts losing her hair or his hair, and the doctor tells them to stop stressing. Why does the doctor tell the child that? The doctor tells the child that because they don't know the cure for alopecia. And rather than saying, I don't know how to help you, they're going to spin it back on the child or on the person who's suffering the hair loss. You know what I mean? Everybody's biased. Like literally everyone is biased. The doctor, everyone is biased. I can't think. I'm going to go ahead and read you guys this article. But first, let me get myself together so I don't spend too much time looking like an alien from Planet Alopecia. Even though that's exactly what I am. And I've made peace with it. Is it okay? How's it looking, y'all? I want to try a new lash style, but I find that the heavier lashes really don't look good on me. It has something to do with body type, you know? I think I have a very classic body type. And since I have such a classic look, it's really hard to do anything extreme, to pull off any kind of extreme look. Cool Kid. Hey, Cool Kid. How's it going? Thanks for joining. It's really hard. So let me finish up these brows. One more step to go. Hi. One more step to go. So I have two. Let's see if I can find my other brow liner. You're not a kid though? Cool Kid? Cool Kid says I'm not a kid. So you're like like one of those like the little rappers, like Lil Kim, Lil Baby, grown men with kid names. Cool Kid. God bless you too, love. God bless you too. All right, so let me just get some strokes in here before before I drive myself insane. Hang on. I finally got a new bottle of liquid liner so I can more easily create strokes with my liner. Oh, if you were wondering, what I was doing was I was just adding a little bit of setting spray inside my eyeliner because the eyeliner has to be very, very uh, thin, like it can't be clumpy at all, so that you could get the nice, those little hairlines. Cool Kid says he has to go. Bye. Okay, Cool Kid. Thank you so much for stopping by. Oh, Kim Jong-gu Ilanesu. Kim Jong-gu Ilanesu. I'm sorry. I just got lost in your name. Let me read your comment. He says, or she says, with all respect, ma'am, what happened to your hair? I have alopecia universalis. Alopecia is basically just hair loss. In fact, it is just hair loss. It's not basically just hair loss. It is just hair loss. Universalis means all over. So all over my body, I have hair loss. I don't have hair loss anywhere on my body. I mean, I don't have hair anywhere on my body. Sorry. Cool Kid said, don't say that. Don't say what, Cool Kid? Did you leave yet? All right. Okay. So I'm looking a little bit more decent. I feel vindicated now that I can read you guys this news article that I picked up along the way. You guys know I do the Ball Girl News session, right? Ball Girl News. Let me go ahead and put up the logo so you can see it. There it is. Can you see it? No, you can't. Ball Girl News. Let's put it down there. Okay, so yeah, I do the Ball Girl News session. So basically, I haven't done anything lately because there hasn't been too much going on in the news. And I know that if it's not interesting, you guys are not going to want to hear it. Really, it's not serious news. It's just fun stuff from the news, interesting stuff from the news. So if it's not too interesting, I won't bother to cover it. Although there have been some cute little stories that I feel like I can put together into one session. And I think today is a good day for that. So yeah, Kim, I don't know if you're still there, but it's really not associated with any other health concerns. To be honest, I think like stomach issues, gut health might have something to do with it. I have always had stomach issues, like digestive issues. So, I mean, if you wanted to know, like if I'm sick, the answer is no, except my stomach hurts sometimes. So that's the extent of all of it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and read you guys. First, let me check my TikTok. I'm sorry. Let me stay on top of my shit. Pardon. Hang on. Hang on. I'm really out of sorts right now. I'm not working out too well. Oh, hey, I want to say your name. This person who has a name that is literally just a quotation mark says, I have alopecia too. You look pretty. Thank you so much, person whose name is a quotation mark. I wish I could call you by name. Anyways, it's good to have you here. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about why I think people should really be careful about how they digest, how we digest the advice that we're given as people who have hair loss. Because one thing's for sure about alopecia, about your journey with alopecia, is nobody really is going to understand. Nobody understands unless another person has alopecia, and even they may not even understand. You know what I'm saying? Because it does have a lot to do with your form of alopecia, and there are several forms of alopecia. I mean, like I could sit here all day long and tell people to shave their head so that they would, look better or whatever after beginning to lose a lot of hair. But if I tell people that and then they have like scarring alopecia or painful alopecia, and I'm telling them to put a razor to their head, I'm literally asking them to do something that's painful. So people really need to be careful about how they provide advice. And a lot of times the advice is underhanded. A lot of people are mean AF. Y'all know that, right? I just encountered one, so I have two stories to talk about once I get this makeup on. Because I ain't finna sit here looking crazy no more. All right, hang on. Okay, is that better? Does that look better? Okay, if you guys want to know, this is the Runway Hit by MAC. I do like this color quite a bit. And it's great as a dual purpose cosmetic. All right. Okay, so let me go ahead and read you this article. Need water. Oh, that's not it. Sorry, y'all. Sorry. This is it. This is the article. Okay, this article is pretty old. It's from July 30th. And it's coming out of the Mail, UK. I find that in the UK, the conversation surrounding alopecia acceptance is widespread. It's widespread. Here, what I've noticed about the conversation about alopecia here is it's focused on regrowth, trying to regrow here. And over there, they're more focused on the holistic side of it because a lot of us, unfortunately, will never regrow our hair. So, did I just receive my order that quickly? That is so fast. All right. Anyway, I'm sorry, y'all. Let me go ahead and read this to you. The Cumberland employee speaks out about coping with alopecia. A Cumbrian, let me start from here. Rebecca Gibson from Staintron near Barrow manages the Cumberland's Barrow and Ulverston branches and began experiencing symptoms of the condition in 2022. Speaking about her experience, Ms. Gibson said walking into work with a wig for the first time was daunting, but everyone was supportive. Here she is, y'all. This is Rebecca Gibson from Stainton near Barrow. Very different the way they speak, right? I don't think an American would ever write in such a fashion. But okay. She says, speaking about her experience, Miss Gibson said walking into work with a wig for the first time was daunting, but everyone was supportive. There she is, Rebecca Gibson. I have had a lot of kindness from my line managers, my branch colleagues, and also from customers. As a branch team at the Cumberland, we are all very close and supportive of each other. Alopecia can cause partial or total loss of hair on the head and body. Miss Gibson, who lives with her husband, Richard, and sons, Albie, 4, and Austin, 14 months, has decided to share her story in the hope of helping others. She said alopecia is quite common. A lot of people don't talk about it, and that's okay. But I prefer to be quite vulnerable and open. It's helped me navigate the condition, and I hope that helps other people. Her symptoms began with the loss of an eyebrow and progressed to gradual hair loss on her head, eyelashes, and eventually all over her body. She said, when it starts, it's the unknown. You start to get these patches and don't know if or when they're going to stop. It is really challenging time. In 2023, after returning from a holiday in Tenerife, she made the decision to shave her head. She said, I was wearing wigs, but they are not easy to find the right one that feels like you, and I was experimenting with headbands. I got back home and decided to take back control, and I shaved my head. Miss Gibson said the experience felt empowering, and she wanted to show her son, Albie, that a person's value isn't defined by their hair. She said, it felt quite empowering. It was at home, and Richard did it. I had Albie with me. I wanted to show him it doesn't matter about your hair. It's you as a person that matters. Afterwards, I felt fine. I have not got upset. I can't control the alopecia. I just thought I needed to deal with this and find a way. It's also important to say we all deal with things differently, and it's okay to be upset and feel different emotions if you're experiencing hair loss. Let me keep writing. Miss Gibson says she found comfort and understanding in an online community. She said they helped me to realize I wasn't on my own. Her workplace played a key role in her journey. She said, my colleagues at the Cumberland were great. I can be open and I would show them the back of my hair and say, is it getting worse? How does it look? It would be very difficult if I couldn't be open. Her manager offered supportive advice that stayed with her. This is the part that I want y'all to listen closely to, okay? She said her manager offered supportive advice that stayed with her. She said, he said something that stuck with me. He said, don't let this become who you are, your identity. And that helped me through. Miss Gibson was encouraged to take time off if needed for medical appointments or to try wigs. And she also received support from the Cumberland's in-house occupational therapists. She said, I have grieved for my hair and I don't need that to be who I am. I have a couple of good wigs and many people don't know I wear them because they are such high quality. I'm at peace with it. Speaking about her colleagues, Miss Gibson said, support from your workplace is so important. You also need that bit of normality and you need the income. What would it mean for my house and children if I couldn't come to work? She added, I really feel the people and culture team are always looking at what can we do to support colleagues. And that, my friends, is Rebecca's story. And here she is, Rebecca again. So her boss, let's take a look at Rebecca, y'all. And I just want y'all to think about this. I don't know. I might be reading too deeply into this. I tend to do that. Like I said, I have a mom who wasn't always the most supportive. So it kind of shaped how I feel about people and advice. So bear with me and let me know if I'm doing too much, right? So we're looking at Rebecca, right? Rebecca was losing her hair actively while she was in the workplace, right? Hernan Gonzalez says, Hola de Argentina. Hola, Hernan. Thank you for joining. Kim Janas says also it's Supreme Divine Reader Kim Jong-un illness as well. You're kidding. You are kidding, Kim. Kim Jong-un has alopecia? Say it ain't so. Okay, I'm not going to get caught up in this moment down the zeitgeist or the rabbit hole of looking this up, but I am on it the second I log off, Kim. Thank you for telling me that. Kim says, it's Divine Reader Kim Jong-un's illness as well. Kim Jong-un has alopecia? I'm flabbergasted. Thank you for sharing that with me, and I'm definitely going to go check that out. Okay, so let me not get too sidetracked. Okay, so we're looking at this woman, right? And first of all, do y'all know how people are? Do you know that people recognize when you change the shade of your lipstick? Do y'all know that? I mean, if you get a new pair of shoes, people notice. So when we look at Rebecca here, right? We're looking at, let me move this. Here's Rebecca. We can look at Rebecca and see, one, first of all, the first thing I noticed, and I'm not trying to pick Rebecca apart because that's never my intent. But for the sake of this conversation, I want to pick Rebecca apart, okay? So we can look at Rebecca and see that she has painted on eyebrows. Either her eyebrows are painted on or they are, what's it called again? What is that procedure that people get? I forget what it is. It's not a tattoo, it's the other thing. It's either she got that or basically she has no eyebrows, right? So we can look at her and think that. Now, if I'm a very nosy person, which for some reason people are very, very nosy. Me, not so much, because I usually get so caught up in my own shit that I don't pay attention to other people that much. But a lot of people don't seem to focus on themselves enough. They'd rather focus on others, which is why they notice every change that you make, every little thing that you do. Oh, you got your nails done. Oh, you got a new ring. Like, I mean, the smallest thing. Oh, did you get a third piercing in your ear? Like, they notice everything. So if they don't notice, if they can notice little things like a third piercing in your ear or a new ring, right? Why wouldn't they notice that your hair is probably a wig? That's my question. That's my question. When he says, when Rebecca's boss said to her, don't let this become who you are. How do you do that? How do you do that when people are constantly trying to unveil you? That's my question. In my experience, the best way to handle my alopecia was to just let it do what it does. And it did. It took over who I was. You can look at people and just know that they belong to a certain phenotype. You know what I'm saying? You can look at me and see. I'm going to put my wig on in a second. By the way, I finished working on the wig that I told you I was going to work on. I told you I was going to take this synthetic wig and sew in some human hair wefts into it so that I could restore the wig and give it some movement, because y'all know synthetic hair doesn't always have the movement that human hair does. So I finished it, right? So here's the thing. So I'm going to put the wig on, right? Let me close this out. So how do you guys feel about what I just said? Like, this man advised Rebecca. Here's Rebecca that we're looking at, right? Advised Rebecca, don't let this become who you are. First of all, what does that even mean? Become who you are. I'm Action Jacqueline, Alopecia Princess. It has already become who I am. So I tried as much as I did. But when I was years ago, when my hair first started falling out, I spent a lot of time lying to people, trying to convince them that my hair was real. You know, like, oh, I just took this, I went to the salon and I got some weave, or I've been using this hair growth serum, all kind of lies that really always came back to the truth, because people will strip you of a lie. They will strip you of a lie. I've never existed in a space where there were not people who were trying to unveil me. I don't care how good I think my wig looks before I walk out the door. It's always a topic of contention. People are always uncomfortable about something in the way that I look. And I know it's because either they don't know they can't tell whether or not my hair is real. So they don't know how to talk about my hair. They don't know how to say, oh, your hair looks nice, without saying your hair looks nice. Is it real? Or sometimes they're just scared to compliment your hair because they think it's somehow an insult. I don't know. People are so uncomfortable when they see a person who wears a wig and it's not your typical wig. I think y'all know what a typical wig is, right? The typical wig is basically that 1B bust down with the baby hairs, which I'm not doing. And everybody's comfortable with that one, because it seems like that's my Walmart delivery is sitting in front of my door. It seems like that's the most acceptable way to wear a wig, right? If you try anything else, it's going to be a topic of contention. I don't know how many times people have told me that I shouldn't be wearing this blonde wig. I've even had people tell me, but when I used to wear wigs, right? I used to wear natural black hair. And people would always say, oh, I thought you were Spanish. You know, I thought you were Hispanic. And then people would say, oh, why do you have to wear your hair so long? You know, like, I had one girl when I started wearing the blonde hair, someone said, oh, your hair looks really nice. But why blonde? That's what someone asked me. Why blonde? As though there was some sort of other intent behind it that went beyond hair or just trying to look nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was secretly trying to cross over into another identity. I don't know what someone thought. But basically, when I choose my hair, I always choose whatever makes me look youngest. And I find that the blonde hair makes me look youngest. So I rock with that. And in fact, just recently, I allowed a bunch of people to convince me, oh no, go back black, go back dark. So I bought this wig, which I just washed, y'all. I haven't styled it yet. So I bought this wig. And in this light, it looks really good. But I filmed a live stream a couple days ago and I rewatched it. Y'all can go check it out for yourselves if you want. And I was like, oh, this color really ages me. I have right now my ring light in front of my camera. So It's making my hair look lighter than what it is, but in actuality, it's quite darker. Okay, so what I was saying about Rebecca, right? The question is how does someone who's going to always be recognized as someone who has something off? Because we can look at Rebecca and know her eyebrows are not real. We can look at Rebecca and see she has no eyelashes. People see these things and they will make it their life's work to know everything about it. So it's really hard to not talk about it often. I remember like when my mom used to say to me, why do you always have to talk about it? The answer is because everybody always asks me. It's either I'm going to ignore people altogether and just not speak, which is kind of hard to do when someone is outright asking you a question, or I'm going to lie, which is also silly because people really usually know the truth before they ask a question. You know what I'm saying? We can get back into that later. But what does she mean by why do you have to talk about it so much? How about you lose your hair, walk in my shoes for a day, and then spend some time understanding why I have to talk about it so much? That's what I mean by no one who is not walking in your shoes can understand what you're going through or how or why you manage it the way that you do. Like literally no one. The advice I've gotten has been so bizarre. I've had people who've never been happy with who never liked me. Like they've decided that they did not like me as a person because of my hair choice. And then they encourage me to do this. Get this one. They will encourage me. Let me go back. They will encourage me. Don't even wear the wig. Don't even wear the wig. So I've gotten real snazzy with that one because I'm like, okay, I won't wear the wig. You do it with me. The last person I told that to, I said, you do it with me. Do it with me. And she's like, what? Do what? And I'm like, don't go bald. Go bald. Shave your head with me and I'll go bald too. And she laughed. And I was just like, it's really funny when you think about it that way, isn't it? You know what I'm saying? Because what do you know about what it's like to walk around as a bald woman? To even advise someone to not go bald. Like, what do you know? People are so hateful. So let me tell y'all this story that just happened to me recently. So I'll read you this. This has nothing to do with hair, by the way. Or maybe it does. Maybe it does. I don't know. But someone reached out to me. A seer. Y'all know what a seer is? A seer? Or am I saying it right? Hang on. Zero Cap says you're beautiful with or without hair, so that's a good thing. Thank you, Zero Cap. Much love to you. I appreciate that. So on my TikTok, right? Let me show you. Let me show you this conversation I had on my TikTok. Somebody reached out to me. People will often reach out to you on TikTok if you have any sort of page. They'll often, and it's most of the time it's underhanded, right? But this one stood out to me because I actually kind of bought into it for a second. But you got to be so careful about who you let into your heart, who you let into your purview, not even your heart, just into your understanding. You don't even want to just try to understand things from people's point of views because they're so sometimes inconsiderate, sometimes biased, oftentimes biased. People always advise me to wear my hair a certain way because it makes them feel more comfortable. Like, I guess with my blonde hair, they feel uncomfortable around me because I'm a Black woman wearing blonde hair and they want to walk alongside me without being seen with this blonde lady. You know what I mean? And it makes them uncomfortable. But here's the thing. There's never been a time I haven't made people uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable. I make people uncomfortable when I'm bald. I make people uncomfortable when I wear my hair black. I make people uncomfortable when I wear my hair blonde. There's never a time that people are not uncomfortable with the way that I look. So I've stopped trying to make them comfortable. So when people start advising me, I don't care. It's literally like the words that come out their mouth, they dissipate the second they touch the air. Like I don't even care. I don't care what people have to think, unless you're my family. And even then, I have to, be careful. Like I told you, my mom was literally like, "Why do you always have to talk about it?" As I was losing my hair, as I was a child losing my hair, my mom is literally like, "Why do you have to talk about it so much? You always talk about it." And I'm like, I need therapy. That's what I'm talking about it. Like, what's going on? Anyway, so this person, I should say her name because she was so audacious. I should just blow her up, but I'm not going to do that. I'm not. That's not. This is not that kind of channel. We don't do that here, right? So, this is what this person reaches out to me and says. Hello, your words are uplifting and beautifully capture personal growth. Embracing change can be incredibly empowering. Your spirit shines through in your thoughts. Keep nurturing your inner spirits. So she wrote that. I'm sorry, inner light. That's what she says. And right away, I knew she was a seer. Like I could tell this was, and not to mention, I clicked on her page and I saw that she had all this material about, healing beads and things like that. And I don't subscribe to it. So I ignored her. Right? So then I didn't respond. She comes back to me. That was on the 21st that she sent me the first letter. That was August 21st. She reaches back out to me. I didn't respond, like I said. She reaches back out to me on August 26th. And she says, "How are you doing, my dear?" When they start calling you dear, you just know they're about to tell you something, right? I still ignore her. On the 27th, she responds again, "Hey, beloved." And then later that day, she writes, "Well, hope you shouldn't feel I am bothering you. I can't just inbox you for no reason. If I am permitted, can I tell you what I sense?" Right? So, I mean, she's so persistent, right? She's so persistent. Let's give it a try. I was at the time I was sitting down at a family function, and to be honest, it was really cold outside and I wanted to go in. So I was trying to keep myself warm and busy, right? So I respond. I say, "Good evening." And she says, "How's the Mother Earth treating you, Queen?" I said, "I'm well, and I hope that you are also." So she says, "I sense your soul is often misunderstood. Enter contained in a strong outer shield." I don't know what that means. "Others may think you're pretty tough all the way through to your core and may even be intimidated by your stern exterior, but I can tune into the truth. You're just not one to wear your heart on your sleeve. For this reason, you may let issues fester before you finally come out and say what's on your mind. Your soul tends to put focus instead on directing energy to other things. You probably have very enviable work ethic. Am I right?" So that's what she says. So I respond, "Some may describe me that way." Because honestly, I would never describe myself that way. Right off, I just knew that even if she is a seer in real life, she's not a very good one. Because that's not how I would describe myself. But maybe others do. So I'm like, some may describe me that way. So she says, "Can I ask you a question?" And I'm like, "Oh, here we go." She says, "How's everything going with you and your spiritual life?" I said, "I'm connected. Why do you ask?" She said, "I asked because I picked a lot of energies from your page. I know you have been going through a lot lately. Your inner spirit cries to be heard. And I also feel a strange energy vibration from around you. Do you know anything about that?" And I said, "Can't say that I do." So, because I at this point, I realized that she's kind of reading from a playbook. So I want to challenge her a little bit because I got time. You know what I mean? So I said, "Exactly what about my page stood out to you?" And she says, "Well, while meditating, I found your page and I feel connected to you spiritually. And your spiritual energy revealed that you are on the right path. But the problem is that you have a spiritual limitation on your life and destiny, which was put on you by someone close to you out of envy and jealousy. And make sure you can't excel more than what you are right now. You're supposed to be much better than this." And it was also revealed that you are not stagnant, but you are moving in a very low speed. That's why anytime you want to have a big break, something normally comes up to sabotage it or limit the success you will derive of it. I know you are trying to love your life and be grateful for everything, but we both know that you are made for much more. Not only that, I can sense you are declining in so many ways. Am I right? So, I got time. So at this point, I'm intrigued a little bit. Not because I believe anything she says, because I can tell she's reading from a playbook. I honestly can't think of a single soul who she can't identify with by saying these things. But we got time. So I said, if this is true, then what can you do to change it? She says, due to what was revealed to me, among your family and friends, your star is the one that shines most. You are supposed to be the one to change the situation of your family, but there are too much delays and blockage that would forcing delay. I don't know. I'm not going to read that part because it just starts going on. But what got me was when she said this. Now, everyone knows I'm a married woman, right? This is what she says. Though you have a good future and a good goal, but you are passing through hard time, I saw you wandering in a lone place and decide to be in a solitude as you are feeling. I see you nervous or scared, unsure what to do about how to move on. You've been debating something, a move. Go forward in your decision. You need to be independent on your own. This woman is pushing me. Could you imagine if I was gullible? This woman is pushing me to be independent on my own. I'm a married woman. There's no such thing as independence when you're married. When you're married, you depend on your spouse. She knows I'm married. And then she goes on to say, change is hard, even scary, but you need to have confidence in yourself and you will be fine. I feel like you're having problems with family or someone close to you, have known for a long time, that make you feel unhappy with what you are seeing around you, and you're having some disappointments. This lady don't know me. This is crazy. This is crazy because look how people have it. She's pushing me. You got to be so careful about who you take advice from. That's my only take home here. I think like the nerve of this woman. So I blocked her. I was like, goodbye. I'm sure she would love to see me single. I'm sure she would love to see me single. I'm sure all these women who are telling me, oh, girl, you shouldn't even wear your wig. Just go bald. Like all these women who have hair would love to see me go bald. Like that would suit them just fine, right? I just can't imagine the advice that people give without ever walking in your shoes, without even considering it. Like I said earlier, like I don't give advice here on this channel. I will never advise a person. I will make suggestions. I will try to tell people how to improve on what they have. Like if you have this wig, here's how to make it work. You know what I mean? Or if you have some old hair, here's how to revive it. Or I will tell you that the best thing I ever did for my type of alopecia is shave my head. But I'm not going to tell you to do the same thing because you might actually have hair that works for you. You might actually have hair that helps your wigs look more real. I've seen that before, that people keep just a little bit of hair right in the front so that they could blend it with their own natural hair. And I get that. Like if I had some hair, I would do the same thing. I just don't have any. Anyway, y'all. So I did, like I said, I wanted to talk to you about this wig that I had worked on, just to show you real quick what I did. I was going to show you that, but I can't find it. What I did here. So this is the Tressalore Sensational wig, right? It's a synthetic wig. It's heat safe. And although it's really well constructed, these heat safe wigs kind of misbehave. But they're so good that you kind of want to make it work. So I have figured out how to make this work, but there comes a time where you could do something better. And what I've done to make this wig better than what it was is I turned it into a human hair blend wig by sewing in some wefts. So I don't know if you can see it here, but I took apart an old human hair wig that I have that I can't wear anymore because it started balding in the lace. So I took it apart. I pulled the wefts out and I added them here. I don't know if you can see where I sewed them in. Can you see that? Wherever it looks a little funky, that's where I added here. That's one track that I added. And I did that all throughout. So I added 1, 2, I think I added 4 tracks, maybe 5. I did this over a course of a few days, so I don't really remember. But 1, 2, 3, I don't know. But this wig, y'all, this wig is about 50 wears old, which is saying something, okay? So I'm gonna show you what it looks like after 50 wears. And it didn't, of course, it was on its last leg right before I decided to add the human hair into it. So it was on its last. I don't know if you guys saw my Bangkok video when I was in Thailand, but when I went to visit the temple in Thailand, I was wearing it and it was looking a hot mess. If you want to see what this wig looked like at its last leg, check that one out. It was really looking a hot mess. I think that's another thing about alopecia. No matter how good you are, unless you got tons of money to stay on top of your wigs all the time, you are going to have some bad hair days. And unfortunately, I captured some of those bad hair days on video. But y'all, look how good it looks. And the movement that I have now that I've added the human hair wefts into it is great. Like, it's really good. So I definitely recommend that. If you want to see the process, I uploaded a live about wig reconstruction. You can find that on my YouTube channel. So definitely, if you're not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, check that out. That's where you get my long form videos. Like this one here, I'm going live to TikTok and YouTube together. It will stay on YouTube, but you won't see it on TikTok. You'll only see little snippets of it. So if you want like a detailed wig review or a detailed tutorial or just a detailed conversation and you want to go ahead and check it out again, you'll find it on YouTube. So guys, make sure that you're subscribed there. And thank you so much for joining me today. It was lots of fun. Be careful about who you take your advice from. If you really know, not too many people will understand your journey, and don't let them feel bad. Like that woman's boss, Rebecca, her boss telling her, don't let this alopecia become who she is. He has no idea. This is a man, first of all. Men don't know what it's like to be a woman who loses their hair. I don't know if her boss is a man with hair loss or not, but even still, he doesn't know what it is to be a young woman who has lost her hair. So telling her, don't let this become you, I think what he really wanted, because I do believe everyone is biased, is for her to stop taking up so much of her employees' time by discussing it. I think he wanted her to sit quietly and do her work, stop talking about her hair so much, which he could have done. He could have said, okay, listen, I know you want to talk about your hair, and I get that, but can we restrict that to, lunch hour or something like that, So that's all he had to say. But telling her, don't let this become who you are. What does that even mean? This kind of advice it's unproductive. And it makes the mind wander too much. So I'm sure Rebecca was sitting there like, what does that mean? Don't let it become who I am. Well, I'm not letting it become who I am. Or is it who I am? You know what I'm saying? It's like, what is she supposed to do with this kind of advice? So anyway, I love you guys very much. And we'll talk again soon. Peace.